Squid Game is full of funny characters, from Thanos to Jungbei. I'll be going over the most hilarious characters in Squid Game and ranking them, starting with the funniest one. Number 11, Sonyo the Shaman. Before we knew how annoying and evil she was, a few people found her very funny, but she was only really funny on her own once. Her first scene. When everybody wakes up before Game 1, red light, green light, she's one of the first players we see, and some of us may have laughed at her staring at Gihyun as he woke up. Unfortunately, this laughter starts to vanish when we start seeing her annoying side appear in the later episodes, sort of like the Season 2 version of the religious guy. Despite us knowing that she's annoying, she has another funny moment. At the start of Mingle Season 2 Episode 6, groups of 10 are required per room. The main character groups go together with Sonyo, and while she's in there, she stares everyone down and starts yapping. Not the funniest, but a bit humorous. Her funniest moment came after getting slapped by Hyunju during the six-legged race. But there's a reason she's at the bottom, because she wasn't that funny. Remember, the characters only get funnier from here. Number 10, Jang Duk-soo. Okay, let's all be honest. He might have been an evil dude, but he made us laugh at least a couple of times. His dark style of life and play entertained us during Season 1, and the first time we see this is in Season 1 Episode 2, Hell. This guy owed money to casinos, so they were obviously after him for said money, but he was manipulated by a worker or crony, we never find out, and then got stabbed in the back, and then literally stabs the same guy who betrayed him. But that isn't even the funny part. Duk-soo gets ambushed by a group of around 8 men directly after. He then jumps from the bridge after shouting, "Welcome to Korea!" One of his funniest moments. He has one more funny moment though, but it's mostly because of another character. You'll soon see. In the glass bridge game, he starts freaking out and yelling right before he loses, and it's kind of funny to see how even the biggest bully in the game can get scared too. But trust me on this one, this next character on this list is way funnier. Number 9, Player 198 Season 2. This didn't go over anybody's head. It will be planted in our minds for years to come. He took the Bisok Chigi, the Flying Stone, in the Six-Legged Pentathlon, Season 2, Episode 3, and was in the first group to go around the circle. His teammate completed Dakji pretty quickly, taking around 3 tries. But that was his team's only success. He went on to do horribly during his minigame, taking the rest of the 5-minute time limit left other than 20 seconds. During his playtime, he missed upwards of 5 times, bearing in mind that they had to recollect the stones afterwards as well, and doing that wasted a lot of valuable time. He went ahead to piss himself and then ended up completing it apart from one thing. His foot was over the line. His team verbally killed him for that, deciding to not even celebrate when he did finish, because there was no way Gongi, Peng Chingi, the spinning top, and Jegi would be completed in 20 seconds, as well as traveling time. His failure is funny in our eyes, more so than Duk-soo and Sonyo in my eyes, yet nowhere near the next characters. Number 8, Woo-suk and Mr. Kim. This pair in Season 1 would have been hated to bits, but we found them really funny in Season 2 Episode 1 together, and then Woo-suk on his own with Junho on the boat over the rest of the season. We first see them together when Gihyun is paying the loan sharks more than what he owed to find the recruiter. They took his idea with a grain of salt, obviously not believing that the Squid Games existed, like many others, but hey, they didn't complain that they were getting paid. The pair eventually find the recruiter in a subway station, whilst they are taking a lunch break, but they drop the idea just to chase him. The look on their faces is priceless, their first, and well, for Mr. Kim, his last funny moment. They then follow him to a park where he pulls his bread or lottery ticket stunt with the homeless, and they approach him in a back alley. He overpowers them, dragging both men into a hotel room to make them play rock, paper, scissors -1. They both pick rock, paper, or scissors on both hands and choose one to remove. Then, if you lose, a bullet to the head. If tied, add another bullet until 5 out of 6 are loaded. They play for who knows how many rounds, until Woo-suk chooses paper, with Mr. Kim picking rock, scissors. All he had to do was pick scissors, but he didn't move and got shot for disobeying the rules. The recruiter now leaves Woo-suk, the build-up to his next funny moment. When the recruiter leaves, he and Gi-hun play Russian roulette, and Gi-hun wins. Jun-ho hears the gunshot from outside when the recruiter shoots himself and runs in to try and arrest Gi-hun for murder. At this point, Woo-suk has figured out where they are, so he runs in with a fire extinguisher to knock Jun-ho unconscious to save Gi-hun. We find this hilarious due to how unexpected it is, and we love Woo-suk now. And if you thought they were funny, the next one's even better. Number 7, Jang Gum-ja. I'd argue that she isn't as funny, but she's definitely more badass, and she also gave us comic relief with how she bossed around her own son, Pak Young-sik, throughout season 2. First of all, in episode 3, she screams at him in front of 480 plus people, counting the guards and security, not being embarrassed that she had an outburst just to get a point through to her son about joining the games.
이런데 또 기어들어와? 왜? 나중에 따로 얘기해. 아니 어디가 따로야? 얼른 너 나가. 여기서 당장 나가. 빨리. 당장 여기서 나가.
You see, she joined the games just to pay off his debts, and he knew that she was trying to cover it. Despite this, he still joined the games and effectively abandoned her. He didn't tell her otherwise. She wouldn't have joined, or she would have reacted better had she also wanted to join, well, for more profit, and her verbal assault directed at him is amazing. Next, we have her beating the frontman down verbally in Mingle Season 2, Episode 6 for insulting her son. The number was 3, and Young-sik was dragged away from her by a pair, and she stood in the middle, apparently accepting her fate, until the frontman and Gi-hun brought her into the room to make a group of 3. The frontman then asks where her son is, and if he abandoned her again. She then goes off into a rant about how he was such a sweetheart, never bullied or abused other kids at school, and would never just leave her to die voluntarily. We find it hilarious, and the frontman just accepts defeat so as not to reveal himself as an imposter. We find her funny and badass, but not as funny as the next characters on this list. Number 6, Cho Hyun-ju. Like Gum-ja, more badass than funny, but still has an element of comedy. She probably doesn't deserve to be above Gum-ja, but her affirmative acts in the rebellion and against the shaman are too good. So against the shaman, the team of 5, Gum-ja, Young-sik, Young-mi, Shaman, and Hyun-ju, go early on in the 6-legged pentathlon. Young-mi completes Dakji pretty easily, and Young-sik gets through Flying Stone, and Gum-ja does Gongi after a pep talk from her son. Now it's time for Sunyo to complete Spinning Top, but she fails a couple of times at the start, and then she follows in the steps of Season 1's player 244 and prays right there, endangering other players, until Hyun-ju takes matters into her own hands and slaps her straight across the face twice to knock some sense into her, making us as the audience cheer for her and laugh out loud. Next up, we have her angering the guards and security. Based off of the way they retaliate, we can tell that they don't like her smashing the cameras. This is a smaller point of humor, but her slap makes up for it. Number 5, Ji-young, another badass female, but she wasn't just badass, she also had her funny moments apart from them. First of all, she puts player 244, the religious guy, in his place so well.
저 사람들한테나 해.
길이는 어린 양아.
In Season 1 Episodes 4 and 5, we see Tug of War and Gi-hun's team are the obvious underdogs. They were facing an all-man team whilst they had 3 women, so they saw themselves as good as dead. The thing is, Oh Nam, the creator of the Squid Games, and Cho Sang-woo, Sang Mun-dong's very own genius graduating from SNU and topping everybody else's intelligence levels. These 2 people had devised strategies to win the game, and 244 only thanked God afterwards. Ji-young was clearly annoyed by this, so pointed it out, turning the other 8 people in their group against him as well. Her sassy tone makes this even funnier.
할 거면 저 사람들한테나 해.
Now we have Marbles, Season 1 Episode 6, and we get more of this sass in the casual conversation with Sae-byuk, since they decided to just leave it down to 1 game rather than wasting energy trying to kill each other. We find her sweet and funny as she jokes with Sae-byuk, and we laugh at her calmness in a deadly environment. She's probably the only character who fully won over Sae-byuk, so it hurt more when she died after Marbles, but made the memory of her funnier, but still not as funny as the remaining characters. Number 4, the Recruiter.
어떤 컬러로 하시겠습니까?
Next up is the Recruiter. He's one of the few characters to appear in both seasons currently available, and for good reason. His funny moments, both regular and dark, that he creates are irresistible. To start, I don't think anybody expected that slap against Gi-hun in Season 1 Episode 1, so we found it pretty funny. We laughed over how he slapped Gi-hun unexpectedly, over how he stopped Gi-hun's slap, and how he battled with him. We also have his menacing and fearsome demeanor in Season 2 Episode 1, when Woo-suk and Mr. Kim play rock, paper, scissors -1, and even more when he and Gi-hun talk over a casual game of Russian roulette. The way that this man can either keep an element of humor or a straight face over such deadly games isn't too scary, more humorous in the way that he acts. Somehow, there are even funnier characters, and they're still listed next. Number 3. Park Jung-bae. Many consider Jung-bae to be the life and soul of Gi-hun's group in Season 2 with his all-around humor and generally good mood. A lot of people have forgotten this, but we see him in Season 1 Episode 1 when Gi-hun was betting on horses. The pair celebrated amazingly in their own unique ways, and we loved them for it and laughed at it. We don't really see much humor in Season 1 Episode 2 when he and Gi-hun talk outside of the bar, but we do see it in Season 2. His first outburst in the second season is in the six-legged pentathlon, Season 2 Episodes 4 and 5. There are a couple. He celebrates wildly, even compared to the rest of the players. When watching Gumja's group play, they had all just watched 10 people be killed because of their failure, so this brought the mood back up. He also reacts very wildly at his own team's success. Well, he has the right to, it saved his life. But his reaction stood out with the exaggerated faces after the frontman had helped Gi-hun with the jeggy at the very end. Many have made memes out of this, just adding to the humor behind the scene. And finally for Jung-bae, we have him cheering up Gi-hun in the night on their watch.
나 자다 울었다고?
This is a unique case on this list, as it's the only one where the humor isn't necessarily for us, the viewers, but for a person in the show, Gi-hun. Jung-bae was his best friend, so the personal touch to him joking about him being a cheapskate was great for Gi-hun whilst he was in a place full of misery. Controversial opinion, but I believe it was his best moment. He showed how much he cared about Gi-hun in this moment with the laughs in there as well. Perfect for a friendship, even better for the viewers. Number 2. Han Min-yo. Min-yo was an annoying character as well, but she was also kind of funny, trying to be popular but just adding humor to the show with both her successes and failures. Starting off with a failure, flirting with Duk-soo before Dalgona. She likes him, and this is obvious with the way she acts around him. He shuts her down right away though, and people find it funny how terrible she is at flirting. Next, we have her smuggling the cigarettes and lighter into the games. Like with the recruiter slapping Gi-hun, the fact that it was definitely not expected makes it funnier. I mean, in what universe is anybody predicting this happening? We saw Se-byuk smuggling the pocket knife in, but that was in an obvious way. Min-yo outsmarted the guards and gave us giggles with it. Now, we have her desperate attempts to get Duk-soo to let her onto his tug-of-war team.
내가 미안해. 내가 더 잘할게. 오빠 나 뭐든지 시켜만 줘. 나 다 잘해. 알잖아, 오빠도.
At this point, many people would already find her annoying, and for good reason. She leached off of stronger people, and many people didn't like that, making Duk-soo's shutdown of her even better. She tried really hard, but we didn't hold back the smirks and laughter when he sent her to the floor. Finally, we have her most renowned and most popular moment, her death in Glass Bridge. But it wasn't her death that was particularly funny, rather the person she took down with her, Jang Duk-soo. As I previously mentioned, he abandoned her before tug-of-war due to the doctor telling him about the game with his knowledge from the organ harvesting scheme. There was one problem with this for Duk-soo though. She had told him in the bathroom that if he ever betrayed her, she'd kill him. She stuck to her word, with Duk-soo's karma biting him in the ass. Before Glass Bridge, Duk-soo chose the 9th position, and Min-yo chose the 11th. Position 10 gets killed by the pair pushing and deflecting him, so these two are now next to each other. The first 8 players have fallen to their deaths, and Duk-soo is at the front. He's telling people to go ahead of him if they want to survive. A crucial mistake. Min-yo now jumps over to his glass panel, wrapping her arms around him, giving her a lecture on how he never should have abandoned her, before violating him and sending the pair to their deaths, together. The Squid Game fanbase collectively cheered when they saw this, justifying its position high up on this list. But it isn't first for a reason. Alright, drum roll please, it's time for first place. It's obviously the recruiter's mannequin. Nah, I'm just kidding. But it gets an honorable mention here. It did give us a short giggle with how random it was, and became loved by the community. Okay, for real, our first place character is Thanos, Choi Sung-bu for the pedantic people out there. Ding! He made us laugh consistently while he was high, and him being high made him overstressed the whole time in the games. From his funny playstyle during the games to his bullying that felt like banter of Lee Myung-gi, everything about him brought a smile to our face. The main points are his abandonment of Young-soo and Mingle, his death to the fork due to how unexpected it was, and his camping out with Nam-gyu. But I can't list them all because of how many there are, also explaining his spot at the top of this list.